Good afternoon, everyone. I'm dealing with ecology, climate change, migration, and myth. A feminist, eco-critical, and post-colonial study of Amitav Ghosh's The Hungry Tide and Gurn Island. Academic information, table of contents. In chapter 1, a literary and cultural theory that explores the relationship between human and nature and storytelling. It's eco-criticism by Claude Felty. Environmental crisis such as the climate change and ecological degradation are major global concerns. So, literature plays an important role here to in representing ecological awareness and ecological migration. The novel of Amitav Ghosh explores the relationship between ecology, history, migration, and cultural memory. So this study analyzes the hungry tide from the post-colonial eco-criticism and feminist eco-criticism, and the Gun Island eco-mythology and migration studies. The research uses a post-colonial eco-criticism, feminist eco-criticism, eco-mythology, and migration studies. Hypothesis: this study hypothesized that the hungry tide examines ecological crisis through a post-colonial and feminist eco-critical perspective. Gun Island interprets climate change through eco-mythology and migration narratives. Research question: how does the hungry tide represent ecological crisis in relation to post-colonial power structure and feminist ecological concern? In what ways does Gun Island employ eco-mythology and migration narratives to articulate climate change and environmental displacement? How do both novels together contribute to an understanding of ecology and climate change in as interconnected local and global issues? Research questions are to analyze the hungry tide through a post-colonial feminist eco-critical perspective in order to examine the relationship between ecological crisis, colonial history, and gendered environmental vulnerability. To examine Gun Island using eco-mythology and migration refugee studies to understand how climate change is linked to a mythic imagination and climate-induced displacement. To comparatively explore how Amitav Ghosh's true novel represents ecology and climate change across a local and global context through distinct theoretical framework. Chapter 2, Literature Review. Eco-criticism examines the relationship between literature and the physical environment, emphasizing how literary text represents ecological consciousness. Then Lawrence Buell argues that environmental literature helps shape ecological imagination and ethical awareness of nature. Then Rob Nixon's slow violence idea. He said that environmental destructions are not occurs sudden, but it appears as a gradually. This perspective establishes the theoretical foundation for analyzing ecological crisis in contemporary literature, including the fiction of Amitav Ghosh. Postcolonial eco-criticism examines how environmental degradation is connected with colonial histories, resource exploitations, and global inequality. Then, Gard's argument that feminist eco-criticism further highlights the relationship between the gender hierarchies and ecological exploitations, emphasizing how women often experiences environmental crisis differently. Uh, However, most studies examines these themes separately rather than comparatively, so which leads to the research gap addressing in this work. So, research gap is while existing scholarship discusses ecological crisis, gender, myth, and migration in Amitav Ghosh's fiction, there is a limited comparative research that integrates post-colonial studies and feminist eco-criticism in The Hungry Tide with eco-mythology and climate-induced migration in Gun Island. This research gap finds how all this theory apply on myth and how myth is used here in these two texts and connect to a global ecological crisis. In chapter 3, A Hungry Tide, through ecology, power, and post-colonial context. So the novel presents the Sundarban as a fragile landscape where tides, storms, and wildlife constantly threaten human survival. Human and natural are constantly fighting with each other for survival. The region's environmental vulnerability it intertwined with political decision and history of displacement, particularly through the reference of Morijampi refugee settlement. So, in Morijampi incidents in 1979, we found that. migrate marginalized peoples are forced to displaced by forest policies. So Ghosh here represents Morijampi refugee settlement in the Hungry Tide. Refugees from East Pakistan are denied. Settlements rights in the forest region, demonstrating how state authority access to a land and ecological resources. So this episode illustrates that environmental conflict in Sundarban is shaped not only by nature, but it is also by post-colonial and political histories of marginalization and social exclusions. Then gender and ecological knowledge. So the character like a Pia, marine biologist, researching Irrawaddy dolphins and Gangetic dolphins, represents a scientific approach to understanding a fragile ecosystem. Here we find human, non-human uh, highlights importance of environmental conservation and respect. Then at the same time, local inhabitants depend on the forest and rivers for survival, creating a dangerous interactions between a human and nature. The interaction between Pia and Fakir demonstrate how ecological understanding emerges from both scientific knowledge and indigenous environmental experience. So, in the starting of Pia's research work, we find that she easily find uh, in her research work of dolphins and all those things, but salt water rising through due to a salt water rising, dolphins change their paths. So she faces some problems in her scientific work, research work. So Fakir here is represented in the indigenous knowledge who guide Pia for her research work. The narrative therefore reflects how ecological crisis is connected with gender experiences and social inequality, illustrating the link between environmental exploitation and gender hierarchies. Then in chapter 4, Gun Island, through myth and environmental memory. So the narrative centers on the legend of Gun Merchant, a traditionally Bengali myth connected to the worship of the goddess Mansa Devi. So here Amitav Ghosh represent Gun Merchant to highlight uh, present climate changes problems and also human trafficking problems. As the protagonist investigates the legend, unusual events such as a storm, fires, animal migration appear throughout the narrative. So, by interpreting the gun merchant legend in a modern context, the novel links mythological narrative with contemporary climate anxieties. The narrative suggests that a myth functions not merely as a folklore but as a cultural framework that preserves the memories of past environmental crisis. By linking this story with present day climate instability, the novel demonstrates how myth can help interpret contemporary ecological anxieties and reveal the deep historical connection between human society and environmental changes. Gun Island through climate change and migration. So the novel depicts environmental instability, contributes to migration and displacement across the global regions. So a gun merchant also migrate due to a drought and flood natural calamities. So here Amitav Ghosh represents a myth of gun merchant to describe the present migration and human trafficking. Several characters travel from migration routes shaped by ecological and environmental pressure. This migration narrative demonstrates that climate change is not only an environmental issue but also a humanitarian transnational crisis. The novel therefore connects a local ecological disaster with a global pattern of migration and mobility. Conclusion: the study demonstrates that ecological crisis in the fiction of Amitav Ghosh is not merely an environmental issue but is deeply connected with history, power, displacement, and social inequalities. So, we found that climate change also scale by scientific data and all those things, but through literature, literary texts, we find that climate change also connected with history, power displacement, and cultural or social inequalities. So writers like Amitav Ghosh are give this viewpoint to us. In the Hungry Tide, ecological conflict in the Sundarban is shaped by post-colonial political structures and conservation policies, particularly illustrated through the Morichampi episodes, which exposes issue environmental justice and displacement. The analysis also revealed the uh, uh, the gender dimensions of ecological vulnerability, where characters such as the Moina experiences environmental instability through economic insecurity, domestic labor, and restricted mobility. In Gun Island, the gun merchant legend functioned as a eco myth linking traditional cultural narrative with contemporary environmental anxieties and climate change. The novel further illustrates how climate change contribute to a global migration, connecting ecological disruptions in South Asia with refugees, roots, and displacement in Europe. A comparative reading of both novels shows a progressive from localized localized ecological injustice to translation climate displacement, revealing how environmental crisis operates on both regional and planetary scales. Overall, the study shows that Amitav Ghosh connect ecology, myth, migration to explain how local environmental conflicts reflects the broader global climate crisis. Here is bibliography. Thank you.